Nigeria at 61 has nothing to show for it. Our educational system has collapsed. We don't have quality schools. We don't have academic centers where research can be carried out to solve modern scientific and technological challenges. Our lecturers are still going on strike regularly. There are no classrooms with teaching aids from primary to tertiary level. We don't have quality health care in this country. Doctors are still on strike, from the president to other members of the ruling elite. They still go abroad to seek medical attention. At 61, Nigeria does not have good road network across the country. People are still dying because of potholes. At 61, we don't have social amenities. Basic social security Nigerians do not have. So I don't really understand why people should see this as something to celebrate. I see this as something that we should be grieved, we should be worried, and thoroughly embarrassed. The rise in insecurity, the killings that we are witnessing, the kidnapping, the carnage that is taking place from the east to the north and even some part of the west and the south. It is obvious that, especially in the north, the northwest, the northeast, and indeed the north central, it is obvious that the president of this country, Muhammadu Buhari, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, is complicit in these killings. And I say that because upon assumption of office, he came to power promising that he was going to put an end to Boko Haram. At some point, they even declared that Boko Haram had been technically defeated. I do not believe that the Nigerian military, the entirety of the Nigerian armed forces, in his might, is overwhelmed if truly there was a determination to rid the country of these terrorists. My perception is that Buhari, for some strange reasons, is unwilling to put an end to these killings. Whether because he identifies with the killers, with the terrorists, or whether because he's sympathetic to the ideology, I do not know. But what I do know is that he has demonstrated unwillingness to put an end to the killings. He has done this and manifested this unwillingness in various ways. Even the labeling of these killers as bandits is also problematic. Because when you say it is banditry and not terrorism, they are just businessmen, as Erufai and some northern governors and members of the northern elites suggest. It makes nonsense of the whole situation. It is also a way of mocking victims of these acts of terror, who are being killed, who are being kidnapped, who are being slaughtered, school children that have been traumatized, that have been deprived access to education, and kept in detention by these terrorists whose agenda are both economic and political. So the fact that the government is tolerant of the activities of the herdsmen, for example, the armed herdsmen, who are largely of Fulani ethnicity, both foreign and those who are indigenous to Nigeria, is a demonstration of complacency. That is why I said that the president has a hand in what is going on. It is difficult to convince some of us to the contrary because he is supposed to be the commander-in-chief. I mean, that is what the Constitution says, Section 130 of the Constitution, that says the president shall be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the chief executive officer of the government of the federation. So the president is not willing to put an end to the killing. That is why the insecurity is rising. Rather, we have seen how he has acted against those who are agitating for self-determination. We saw the extent the Nigerian state went to capture Sunday, to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu. He was basically kidnapped and brought to Nigeria. We also saw the raiding and invasion of the residents of Igboho, the killing of his followers, the destruction of his property, as vindicated by the courts, and the fact that they even trailed him in Benin Republic and had him arrested. What does that tell you? What that tells you is that if the government is serious about stopping Boko Haram, about stopping those they call bandits, they would have done that. These guys are traceable. They are human beings. They exist and cohabitate within the geographical space called Nigeria. You cannot tell me, and they were telling us that we should link our BVN and NIN and telephone numbers to NIN and so on. They communicate. Why have they not been tracked? Why have they not been tracked? The government knows who they are. The governors in the north knows who they are. They meet with them regularly. They even claim they are pursuing amnesty for the so-called bandits. So they know their leaders. They have, some of them have been arrested. Haven't they given useful information to the government? There is no willingness on the part of the president to stop these things. You would have, for those who listen to his anniversary address, I don't have time to listen to Buhari anymore. You know, every time I listen to him, I only get more frustrated as a citizen. So I have stopped listening to him. I can only read snippets of whatever he says on social media. But I understand that he mentioned that he knows those who are sponsoring Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho, that a lawmaker is even involved. Yet the government is not willing to tell us those who are funding Boko Haram. 6 years after Buhari became the president, Malami is still playing politics with the matter. At some point, they claim some bureau de change operators were arrested for funding Boko Haram or supporting activities of Boko Haram. Their identities have not been disclosed till date. Some Igboho supporters were paraded at the SSS headquarters with so-called arms they claim they recovered from their residence, but the bureau de change operators have not been paraded. The sponsors of Boko Haram and the so-called bandits have not been paraded. I don't support parading of suspects, but when you do it in a discriminatory manner, it is an indication of where your interest lies. So the government does not have any interest in stopping what is going on in the country. There seems to be some agenda. There seems to be some deliberate political intention behind these things. That is why you would have a government that is still actively at war with Boko Haram, saying that they are pursuing a reintegration program. The identities of those who have been granted amnesty or reintegrated has not been disclosed. Who is stressing them? It has been reported, it has been shown by credible media reports that a number of them have gone back to fight. A number of them are acting as spies to Boko Haram. So why this is going on is only Buhari that can tell the country. But what is obvious is that this government is not willing to stop the killing that is going on. That is my position.